How can you reverse type 2 diabetes? Welcome to Health Over Greed. Now, just in case you don't know me, my name is Tyler Fastifier Clark, and I have created a nutritional program to help you lose weight fast, but not just lose it, keep it off forever. And doing all of that without having to count calories, use magic supplements, or having to exercise if you don't want to. Now, my entire goal of this entire channel is to give you all of the information completely free so you can implement it in your own life so you can change your life forever. Now, guys, here's the thing. All right, when I got back and I started everything and I've been releasing my podcast and my episodes and all this other stuff, I thought it'd be better if I was more professional, okay? Like when I first did my podcast way back in the day, I would just go off the cuff and go off the top of my head. But this time I was like, you know what, let's be a little bit more structured, and I'm just going to write scripts out every morning, and then what I'll do is I'll read them off a teleprompter for my videos, just so it's more structured, right? But to be honest with you, I hate it. I hated it. I hate all of it. So I don't want to do that anymore. So I'm going to turn my camera on every day, and I'm going to come in here. I'm going to choose a topic, and I'm going to talk about it off the cuff. You're going to get me raw all the time, all right? And this leads me to my next point. What do you think about that? Would you rather me be a little bit more structured, or would you rather to hear me off the cuff as well? It's how I like to do things. I'm not the person that likes to organize and write a whole bunch of stuff down ever. I'd rather just get on the camera and talk because that's what I do. I can talk. So that's what I'm going to be doing. And if you guys hate it, let me know. Let me know in the comments, and I'll see what I can do from there. But no more writing scripts. None of that jazz. No more. So I'm just going to go off the cuff. And today I want to talk about how you can reverse your type 2 diabetes. Now, this is a big subject because I don't know about you guys, but I've always been told that type 2 diabetes is actually irreversible. It's because of genetics. It's because you ate too much sugar. It happened because it's a disease that anybody can get now because of the way the foods are and blah, blah, blah. Guys, type 2 diabetes is completely reversible. All of it. Okay, I get a lot of flack from people saying it's not reversible. I'm a type 2. I'm skinny and I can't reverse this. Yes, you can. You absolutely can. It has nothing to do about your weight. It has to do about so much more. And type 1 is the one that you can't reverse. Okay, so let's go over the differences really quick. Type 1 diabetes, you have a pancreas that's not functioning. It cannot produce insulin, period. That's why they've got to inject insulin in their system so they can keep their blood sugar levels low. All right. With type 2 diabetes, let's get blunt. That's your fault. That is because you can't stop eating. You're eating all the time over your life. You're snacking all the time. You're constantly igniting insulin. So you've become a type 2 diabetic because of you and you only. And that's the thing we're not hearing today. Is being a type 2 diabetic, we need to take responsibility of how we got ourselves here. Not what the solution is on how to fix it with a quick medication or prescribing certain things the doctors are doing today that is absolutely ridiculous. And you're about to find that out in here in just a moment. But yeah, so now that we know that type 1 is not reversible, and now we know that type 2 is reversible, how about we dive into the core issue of what's creating this problem in the first place? Now, it all just comes down to a podcast I released earlier. And if you want to watch this, you can just click I think there's like this title above me that you can click right now that is going to allow you to go watch that. But what it is we're becoming resistant to insulin. We're actually insulin resistant. And the best way that I can put this is if you think about your body, all right, you become resistant to absolutely everything. There's nothing you don't become resistant to. And we can make a whole bunch of different analogies from the first time you ever had caffeine, right? You had insane amounts of energy. But as time went on and you kept consuming caffeine, you have to keep increasing that caffeine just to even get that same potent hit that you got when you first tried it, right? That's your body becoming resistant over time. Same thing with pre-workouts. I remember when I used to work out, I would have half a scoop and I'm like, oh, right? Over time, I need 1 scoop and then 2 scoop and then 3 scoop. And then before you know it, it just became this thing that didn't work in my body anymore, but I would tell myself it did because I was having a scoop of it. Same thing goes with coffee. Same thing goes with alcohol. Same thing goes with everything. Okay. So now that we understand that, same thing goes with everything in your body. So when you are igniting insulin all the time, your body actually starts to become resistant to it. So before we go into that, what is insulin? Well, it's an extremely important hormone for you. And what it does is any time that you eat foods, and remember, there's a whole bunch of different types of foods out there that has a different glycemic index. And I know that's sciencey, so sorry. But basically can spike your blood sugar levels higher than other foods, right? So like if I were to have an avocado, it wouldn't have that big of an impact on it. But if I were to have like candy, like obviously it would spike it out the roof. So now what insulin does is it comes in and it regulates our blood sugar levels from going too high, because if they go too high, like you'll die. Okay, they can't go extremely high. They have to be regulated. So the insulin's main purpose is to come in and bring it down. So how do you ignite insulin? Well, it's when you eat. Anytime that you're consuming outside food sources, your body ignites insulin, period. Because it's got to regulate those blood sugar levels as soon as possible. So now that we know that anytime we eat or consume drinks or anything like that, and we're igniting our insulin, right? Its whole role is to come in and keep our blood sugar levels down. Well, what happens when you're doing this all the time over years? What happens? Your body becomes resistant to it. And so now the effects of insulin's not working on your blood sugar levels, which guess what? Now that means your blood sugar levels, instead of doing this as it goes up when you eat and insulin comes in and it regulates it, no, blood sugar levels are like, oh, this is insulin. Oh, it's not a big deal. So now it starts to go up even higher. So your body has to produce more insulin to try to get it down, right? But that's even a problem in itself. It's like a domino effect, because now over time, your body needs to produce more and more and more insulin just to try to regulate your blood sugar levels, that your body becomes more and more and more resistant. And that's how you become insulin resistant. Then that's when the stages get real bad. Because once you're insulin resistant, which by the way, majority of people don't even know they are insulin resistant today, your body then starts going through some stages. You'll become a pre-diabetic. Once you become a pre-diabetic, your next step is type 2 diabetes. Then once you're a type 2 diabetic, you're going to be a part of the system, because your doctor's not going to tell you how to reverse this. They're going to tell you it's not reversible. Or some of these ridiculous comments I've read lately is that your doctor is not going to tell you the truth because he doesn't believe in you. He doesn't believe that you'll do what it takes to reverse it. And I think it's such nonsense, because it's not okay. If there's a doctor out there that's prescribing medication and keeping you on meds instead of telling you the real truth because he doesn't believe that you'll take the actions required, we've got a problem. And let's be honest, it's actually probably what's happening. So once that's said, let's take a step back real quick. You're insulin resistant, you become a pre-diabetic, you become a type 2 diabetic, you hit the system, your doctor starts starting you off on even metformin, right? And then over time, your body's going to need more, so they prescribe you more. And then essentially, you're going to get to a place where they're going to start prescribing you insulin. Now, if you think about it, what is the core issue our body's having right now? It's resistant to insulin. So do you think that the solution should be to give you more insulin? Because if you're provided more insulin, yeah, it's going to work in the short term because now you got even massive amounts, right? But your body is again going to become more resistant to it, and then they're just going to have to up your dosage. Some of you guys probably can relate to this. If you're a type 2 diabetic now, your doctor's like, oh, we got to up your dosage. Oh, got to up more of your dosage. Oh, and more. Do you see the lunacy in these doctors and health professionals when they say this kind of stuff? Because that is the core problem to your issue. So if we want to reverse type 2 diabetes, we got to start talking about the core issue, and that's the resistance to insulin. Okay, so now that we know that, right, let me bring you back to the resistance we had to caffeine, okay? So if we're having caffeine over long periods of time, and now we're not getting the same effects when we still first had it, what would we do so we can get the same effects that we had when we first tried it? What would we do? Well, you would go long periods of time without it. Take a month or a 2-month break without it, right? And then after a couple months and you started again, it would be like, whoa, Your body's reset. It's not resistant to it anymore, right? So now let's take that same thing and put it to our body. How do we reverse type 2 diabetes? How do we reverse insulin resistance? Simply by not igniting it as much. Now, obviously, you could straight up go on a 30-day to 40-day water fast right now, never ignite insulin again, and after a while, you would completely reverse it. Absolutely. Now, I don't recommend that at all. I mean, it could be great for you. There's great doctors out there in fasting facilities and blah, 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 blah. I don't recommend that to you, especially if you've never fasted before, because I've done a 2-week one before, and it took me a long time to build up to that. But I'm just kind of showing you the broader picture, right, of how you can literally just reverse it. So how do we reverse it without having to go on this crazy water fast? Well, again, we need to stop igniting insulin as much. So you need to stop eating as much during your day. Remember, every time you pick up something to eat for a snack, or every time you're drinking a flavored water or a soda or whatever the case, you're igniting insulin. You're just packing it more into your body. So you've got to stop this, and you've got to stop this right away. So how about we get into how we're going to reverse this completely? Because I'm going to give you the step-by-step protocol that you should do to completely reverse this 110% and never become a type 2 diabetic again, never be insulin resistant again, and never become pre-diabetic. Kind of see, this is the thing about going raw, is like I just said those all in different contexts. Anyway, before we get to that though, guys, I do have to tell you, all right? So remember, I want to give you all the free information in the world that can help you change your life forever, completely free, that you don't have to pay for it. So that's what I've done. I've actually got a couple free ebooks I put together for you, even especially on this subject, right? I got a fasting ebook that will help you fast properly. All this is free. All you got to do is click it in the description, or you can go to www.fastified.com and go grab yours today. It's completely free. And the cool part about it is all my books, not only are they created simple, but I have video breakdowns actually going through it and giving you my best tips and practices. And there's literally no catch. Like, you can go grab that right now. But if you're somebody that wants more of my help and you want help throughout all of this, and you want to have support in a community that loves you and be able to have me to answer your questions all the time, how about you just give me 30 days and come join my 30-day keto challenge? The next one is actually starting soon. And you can find that at www.fastified.com/challenge. And I'd love to have you a part of it. Love for you to have you a part of it. All right, now with that out of the way, okay, how do we reverse it? Game time. You ready? Get a pen or notepad if you're ready to write this down. And every time I say something, pause it and put it down, okay? It's going to help you a ton. First thing you need to do is only eat 2 meals a day. That's it, right? We're only going to eat 2 meals a day. And when you eat, you're going to eat a nice big meal, all right? Meal 1, meal 2. And then you're never going to snack in between, and you're never going to snack ever. Actually, just get rid of snacking, because that's you igniting insulin. That's one of the number one problems. So stop snacking. Now, how do we do that 2 meals, right? Without the snacking? Well, you're going to be fasting for the rest of the time. So what I want you to do is I want you to take 16 to 18 hours where you're not going to be eating any type of food during the day. And I recommend you do 18. It's like the greatest one you can do when you're insulin resistant. So go 18 hours a day, okay? And my recommendation, especially if you're in this situation, water fast, okay? No black coffee, no herbal teas, no nothing. Now, typically when you're on a fast, you could have black coffee or herbal tea, right? But we're trying to reverse this issue without going on a crazy fast. So all we need to do is water fast for 18 hours a day. All you're going to be doing is drinking water during that time. And think about this. If you get 8 hours of sleep every night, you only have to do that for 10 hours, right? Not too bad. And you can break it up throughout you can break it up. So like that you're stopping eating much earlier in the day, and then you're not eating breakfast in the morning, and it'll become easy. I promise you. So again, fasting, 2 meals a day, and you're not going to be snacking. Now, what kind of foods should you be eating? This is very important. You want to be eating foods that are not skyrocketing your blood sugar levels. So you need to ditch the candy. You need to ditch the processed foods as well, because that's just horrible food for you. You want to ditch the high refined carbohydrates. you actually want to come down into a ketogenic diet because we want to get rid of all the carbs together so we don't have those big spikes of our blood sugar levels. So we want to eat high healthy fats, moderate protein, and little to no carbs. Keep it to that. How easy is that? High, right? Ready? High healthy fats, moderate protein, and little to no carbs. Stick to that and you'll do great. Now here's the thing. As we're doing all of that, you're going to only eat real natural food. So you're going to ditch the processed food. You're not going to be eating fast food. You're not going to be eating crap. Okay, you're going to eat real foods. And there's importance around this because this is what's going to help your fasting out so much more. It's going to help your health and it's just going to help everything else out on how you're going to be feeling during all of this. Because the main thing we need to understand is our bodies are controlled by hormones. All right. Even like your hunger signal when you get hungry, that is a hormone. It doesn't actually mean your stomach needs food in it. It's a hormone. It's giving you a signal. So when you eat processed foods, your signals could be wrong. Meaning when you feel hungry, you're not actually hungry. But that's for another video. So what I'm wanting you to do is eat real natural foods because in a 10-day period, your hormones will realign and rebalance themselves. So every time you feel hungry or feel full, you'll be able to trust that signal. So when you're eating your first 2 meals, you're going to eat until you're full and you're going to stop. And comfortably full. Like you don't want to eat too much, right? And then you're going to stop. Then you're going to wait till your next meal and you're going to do the same. And then you'll fast for 18 hours. And that's it. It's that simple. You don't have to overwhelm yourself with counting calories, going through your macros or anything like that, right? That's it. How simple is that? And you can literally start that right now. Now, here's the thing. Now, I'll go back over the list before we wrap up right now. But here's the thing, okay? You will be losing weight very slowly, okay? This is what happens. Insulin is a fat-storing hormone, so when it's in your system all the time, it's hard to lose weight. So you got to reverse the key issue, which is the resistance. So you just need to stay focused and stay consistent over a long period of time. And I promise you, I would even bet if you start this right now, in 6 months, you'll have your type 2 diabetes completely reversed or even less. Now, on top of all of that, I do got to give a little disclaimer, right? You need to consult your doctor. Hopefully it's the right doctor, not the ones that are bred off into school that are getting all the wrong training and are trying to put you on medication. So make sure it's the right doctor. But if you are on insulin currently and you start doing this, just make sure you're consulting your doctor so they can watch your doses because you'll need less and less over time as you do this. And a lot of people don't catch that immediately. So that's one thing you're going to want to be doing. Okay, so one last time at the list, all right? And we'll wrap this thing up. First thing you're going to do is you're going to water fast for 18 hours, all right? That's going to be a time period you're not going to eat any food. Then you're going to eat 2 meals a day. And when you eat, you're going to eat high healthy fats, moderate protein, and little to no carbs. And then you're never going to snack. And when you eat your meal, you're going to eat until you're full and then you're going to stop. And that's it. And that is what you're going to be doing. So for an example of that entire period, think about this. If you wake up in the morning at 7 o'clock a.m. and you skip your entire breakfast and you start eating at 12 for lunch, and that's your first meal, then your second meal is going to be finished before 6 p.m. That's 6 hours in between. And you'll have your last meal, last bite of food, everything at 6 p.m. And then you'll fast all the way until noon. That's 18 hours. Isn't that amazing? Oh my gosh, you guys are going to do so great. All right, guys, let me know in the comments if this helped you. Let me know if you like it more raw, if you like me just coming from the heart to you instead of this typed out little script that I kept writing every day. All right, and make sure you hit that like and subscribe button for more content like this. And guys, again, go grab my free ebooks. They're going to help you. They're in the description below. And I would love to have you join my 30-day keto challenge. It is where I get to put in my best work. Okay, this is where I get to help you for free, but that's where I actually get to hold your hand for 30 days as I help you do this right way. So I'd love for you to join. Again, find that all below. Anyway, I'll see you tomorrow. Have a great rest of your day.